Taurus and those who love Taurians. My name is Heather, and this is the second video in my series all about the zodiac signs. And we are on the second sign, Taurus. The bull, like a bull. Okay, so let me pull up my little Taurus card. It's at the beginning. It's like the little picture at the beginning of that you see on the YouTube channel. So Taurus is April 20th or 21st, depending on the year, through May 20th. They are represented by the bull. They are an earth sign. They're fixed and they're feminine. They have feminine qualities. That doesn't mean that they're not masculine. It just means each of the signs, that's their duality. They are ruled by Venus. Their body part is the throat, neck, vocal cords, tonsils, and thyroid. They are the toddler of the zodiac, and their motto is, I have. Okay, so I took a whole bunch of notes. Hopefully I can see without my glasses. Okay, so this video, by the way, is dedicated to my favorite Taurian, my cousin, the late Hap Trowbridge. His name is William Allan Trowbridge Jr. We called him Hap or Happy, and he passed away the day before the lockdown for the pandemic on March 12th. He passed away. He was pretty young. So this is dedicated to him. I love him very much and miss him. Okay, Taurus personality traits. So basically, you need to know that they are a fixed sign, which means it's hard to move a fixed sign, okay? And the other fixed signs are Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. But they're also an earth sign. So they're fixed earth, which means they are even more unshakable. Basically, you can't change a Taurus. Okay. I am putting on my glasses because I took my notes on my computer instead of writing them down, because I learned the lesson from my Aries video where I wrote them down and then typed them up and they were all out of order. So hopefully this video is a little bit more efficient. Like, you can't make a Taurus move if they don't want to. And I don't mean change houses, although that can be the case. I mean, like, move them in their ideals and their opinions and things such as that. Okay? So, like, a Taurus is what a Taurus is. They are what they are, and that's it. And they're steady in that sense, okay? They have a strong, silent attitude. They're strong, they're steady. Nothing, like, disturbs their tranquility, it seems like. It seems like that, okay? Again, they're obstinate and stubborn. And I know there's a Taurus on here that's going to probably comment below and be like, I'm not stubborn. But we'll get to that in a little bit. Okay, they do have great poise and self-control. It seems like you just can't ruffle them. You can't ruffle their personality. You can't just, bah, you know, like you can do to a fire and an air sign. They have a pretty calm, easygoing manner. They can be pretty passive and stoic, and they seem to take things in stride. Like, any kind of, I don't know, just qualms or problems that happen, they take it in stride. You know what I mean? They're definitely not pushovers. I mean, forget it. They're not pushovers. Oh, they are homebodies. They do prefer the comfort and like familiarity of their home. And they have this like natural inclination to distrust like optimism all the time. And like people like fire signs and air signs are always optimistic, blah, blah, you know, we're so happy. And they're like, I'm a little skeptical of that. They're very loyal and devoted to their family and friends. They're courageous. And they can find strength in opposition. Let me tell you, they will stand their ground. That term, stand your ground, was like invented by and for Taurians, okay? They have great fortitude, like I said, and, you know, when the world shits on them, they can push through it. You know what I mean? So in terms of like things they love slapstick comedy, but they do often fail to catch like subtle satire type of things. And they have like a warm, earthy, playful type of sense of humor. They love eating. We'll talk about that a little bit more later. Steak is like some of their favorite things. They like alcohol. And what you can see as like a simple meal with them can like literally turn into a banquet. I'm not even kidding. Like all you can eat buffets were also made for the Taurian. Taurians are very, very seldom, almost never cruel, which is really interesting because, and we'll talk about this later as well. When I looked up presidents and dictators for all the signs, the sun sign that created the most dictators, was Taurus, even though they're not typically cruel people. So it's kind of, we'll get to that later. Taurians have a deep-seated need for financial security. That is super duper important to them, all earth signs. So Virgo and Capricorn and Taurus all have this like deep-seated like need for financial security. They're not like, oh, well, I'll get another job. No. You know, they're not fans of that type of thinking. Yeah, so Venus rules their sign, which is the planet of like sensuality. So they do have a love for the fineries of life, like art, music, food, drink, good-looking men and women. And that's my computer talking to me in French. The French language is something that might appeal to them, you know, because it's beautiful. It's a romance language. All the romance languages would appeal to a Taurian. I'm trying to find good lighting. They like luxurious and opulent surroundings, but here's the funny thing. They hate waste and extravagance and excess. Go figure. And Taurians are very sensual, and they're also very sensible. So we'll get a little more in-depth on their personality. So pretty much until you get to know a Taurus, they're probably not very talkative, okay? They might be like, yeah, okay. You know, and like one or two words in a text, something like that. You know what I mean? They're just not blabbermouths, okay? Like fire and air signs are. They move deliberately. They speak sparingly and deliberately. Now this can of course be offset if they have like, let me think, like a Gemini, an Aries, a Sagittarius, like moon or rising sign. That can offset it a little bit and make them move around a little bit quicker, make them, maybe speak a little bit faster, you know, but typically they're slow moving and not slow speaking, but like, you know, they just speak kind of sparingly. So once their mind is made up, they can dig their heels in, like I said, stand their ground. And they do like to be left alone, like don't disturb them or disrupt their lives. Like people coming to the door unexpectedly really irritates them, okay? Or if you're like not invited to their house and you come knocking on the door, they're like, why are you here? Do not try to solicit me for anything. Do not try to sell me. You know, they're not fans of that at all. Like I said, they're pretty calm. But if you do push them too far, watch out, okay? Like, I mean, think of them as they're the bull, okay? So, like, when they're a kid, if they get teased too much or pushed around or whatever, they can literally go into kind of a violent rage. It's like if you imagine a bull, like their nostrils flaring, and then they just charge through. Like, they don't really have terrible tempers. Oh God, my glasses are stuck to my hair. This is lovely. Come on. Ah. I'm like yanking my hair out. It's not cute. Not a good idea to put your regular glasses on your head, I suppose. They're not like sunglasses. My hair is like stuck in there, like ripped my hair out. That's not cute. But what was I gonna say? So yeah, if you do get their temper going, which is going to be rare, but you have to push them so far, or it's like the straw that breaks the camel's back. Like, they can take a lot of shit, and then there's gonna be like the littlest straw that breaks their back, and then it's like they charge through, man, and they will pretty much demolish anything in their path. They can even take down a Scorpio. And I know if there's a Scorpio watching, they'll be like, it's not true. Watch it. Watch it, Scorpio, because it is true. They will literally destroy everything in their path. But like I said, they pretty much have a calm temperament otherwise. You really have to do something that, you know, gets them. And it can take a while, you know. They can put up with crap for a long time. Before, like, they can really put up with crap for a long time before they go into like a blind fury. Do you know what I mean? So, speaking of like digging their heels in and stuff like that. Okay, so let me see. Like, to get a Taurian to go somewhere that they don't want to go, or to do something that they don't want to do, is pretty close to impossible, okay? And they would rather entertain at home than like go out or go to a friend's house or something like that. You know, they would rather have you come to them. And same thing with like love. They're not the chasers of the Zodiac. You know, like fire signs love a good chase. They love to like hunt down their prey and get that person. Not Taurians. You can call them up. They'll be there. You know, and you can, you know how they say there's a lot of fish in the sea. You can throw your fishing line out to them, and if they're interested, they'll latch onto it. If they're not interested, not gonna happen, type of thing, you know. So yeah, they don't chase popularity, they don't chase friends, they don't chase lovers. They're just not, they want the people to come to them. They don't really fret or worry or like bite their nails or have like these nervous habits, because they're really not nervousy types. They're just, you know, they're very calm and steady most of the time, unless they have like I said, like some kind of moon or ascendant, like rising ascendant that's, you know, of the nervous type. Yeah, and they're pretty good at pouting and brooding if things don't exactly go their way. They're like, you know, Yeah, it's in their nature to be stoic, to take things in stride. Nothing, even if they have like an ascendant, like a Gemini ascendant or a Gemini moon, nothing really changes that tendency to be like pretty earthy and down to earth and like just there. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have some water. Let me see. Where am I? They make their decisions like slowly, carefully. And if you know a Taurus, if you know them pretty well, their actions are pretty predictable. They're not one of these people that you would be like, this person's so unpredictable, I can't. You know what I mean? They just are not. And it's true, like, if they're rushing, they somehow rush slowly. Like, they don't rush like a Gemini does. Do you know what I mean? Let's see. Oh yeah, I already said that. Yeah, so their homes are always going to be a place of like comfort and calmness to them and familiarity. There's going to, you know, it's going to be comfy. Like, what's a dog? When you visit them, you'll definitely be comfy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, their furniture is just comfy and that's just the way it is. They like things, it might be luxurious or expensive and really nice, high quality that they'll keep for the rest of their life, but it's going to be really comfy, a place you could like fall asleep on their couch and be happy. And change does upset them. I mean, they're a fixed sign in their earth, so they're not fans of change, unless they have like Aquarius or Sagittarius or Gemini or something like that in their moon or ascendant. They're not comfortable with change. And even then, they won't change all that much. Most Taurians do end up owning their own home. Now, if they like live in New York City and they have to rent an apartment, you can pretty much be sure that they have like plants around or something kind of earthy in their decor, because it's just, you know, that's part of who they are. And if they do live in a big bustling city like New York or Chicago or London or Paris or wherever, right? If they have to live in an apartment in a big bustling city, they really do often like to just get away from the city and go take like a kind of a tranquil vacation or like a mini trip, even a day trip where they can just relax and unwind. You know what I mean? They're very, very connected to the land. Let's see. Yeah, so because of their connection to the land, they like things such as, here's some good date ideas. They like hiking a lot of times, taking walks in the park, going to the mountains, gardening, going on picnics. And you'll even find a Taurus, like when they want to relax, sometimes just sitting under a tree, like reading a book. You know what I mean? Just relaxing. Remember how I said the Taurians are stubborn? And I said there's probably going to be somebody who comments down below, I'm a Taurus and I'm not stubborn. Don't bother even trying to like inform them that they're stubborn, because they kind of know it. They know it. They might not want to admit it. They'll use like a different word choice. They'll be like, no, I'm patient, or, I'm sensible and I'm firm, but I'm not stubborn. I'm not hard-headed. I'm not obstinate, whatever, They'll switch the words around. They mean the exact same thing if you look them up in the thesaurus, okay? But they use the like more positive connotations, even though they know they're stubborn. And so, in fact, they're the most stubborn sign. Earth signs are all stubborn in their own way, Virgo and Capricorn as well, but Taurians, the fixed earth sign, are the most stubborn you can get. Seriously. You know how to move a mountain you have to use dynamite? Same thing with a Taurian. I'm not even joking. They say Taurians are often glued to their seats and glued to their opinions. So there you go. But they are definitely patient. They are patient people because, like, they can literally bear, like, emotional and physical pain and, like, hardships and stuff like that. And just bull through it, you know, push through it. So, they can do it for, like, years without complaining a bit. And most other signs of freak out, you know? So they are really patient. So, okay, a thing about Taurians is they're typically not picky eaters. They can eat a ton of different foods. Now, you will find the occasional picky eater Taurian, and that's because they're obstinate and they got it stuck in their head that they only like a few certain things. And so they're, like, literally unwilling to try anything else. Even though if they did try it, they would probably like it. But once they have it in their head, and this is for a lot of earth signs, but Taurians are typically not picky eaters, whereas, like, maybe Virgos more are. But, you know, if you find a picky eater Taurian, it's because they got it in their head that they can't eat anything but, like, their chicken nuggets or, you know, whatever. So if you have a Taurus child, start them on a whole bunch of different foods. Let them try all these different tastes, because then when they're older, they'll keep liking different foods and they won't get it stuck in their head that they can, like, only have mac and cheese and mashed potatoes. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, if you have a Taurus child, start them on a whole bunch of different foods. They will appreciate it later. Oh yeah. And here's another important thing you need to know about Taurians is, okay, you know the saying, a fool and his money are soon parted? Taurians are not fools at all, okay? Because the Taurus and their money are very seldom parted. They will accumulate, like a savings account, an empire, you know, and they'll do it slowly and steadily. Not like the Aries, which, you know, is blah, and they get it, you know, immediately. They are slow and steady and sure. They put a solid foundation down on the earth, just like an earth sign, and then build up from there. You know what I'm saying? And, yeah. And they always want to have, like, if they own a business, they ensure that it's stable and everything's going good with it. You know, that's their main thing. And basically, you could say there's nothing, like, small or shrinking about a Taurian. They like big animals, like elephants, you know, or giraffes with a long neck. They like tall buildings, you know, in big cities, they like to look at the tall buildings and the architecture for that. And they love with all their heart. They love really big, and they're really bigly loyal to their family and friends, and they can accumulate big, large amounts of wealth. So there's nothing really shrinking or small about them. Okay, so let's go on to their health really quick. They're generally robust in health. They usually have excellent digestive systems, and it takes kind of a lot to get a Taurian sick. Once they do, it takes a lot to get them out of bed and going again. They're slow for recovery as well, okay? And it can also be partially their stubbornness, you know, refusal to, like, listen to what the doctor has to say. They have their own ideas in their own head, you know? So their sensitive areas for accidents or infections could be the throat, neck, legs, ankles, reproductive organs, the back and the spinal area. If they get colds, they can turn into sore throats and strep throat. So they also have a tendency to gain weight because of their like love of food and drink. They just can put on some extra poundage. And that can put a strain on their heart, or give them bad circulation, or give them diabetes. And it can cause, you know, overweight can cause them to have weak ankles, get varicose veins, and things along the obesity line. So they do need to watch their weight on that. They can also get gout. But they're usually pretty darn healthy, healthier than a lot of the rest of the sun signs. I'm not even kidding. And, oh yeah, so because they do like to drink, and I'm not saying they're alcoholics. I'm not saying that, but they can have kidney issues or liver issues, okay? So, yeah, they do need to watch out because they do have a tendency to be kind of lethargic or a little bit lazy. So that can cause them to gain weight, and kind of ruin their physique because they look pretty good, you know. Otherwise, they're pretty good looking. And so speaking of looking and their looks, let's go on to their looks. Oh, and one last thing. What really helps their mental state and even their physical health is like going out into the open air, into the country, to the park, stuff, mountains, stuff like that. That'll really help with their mental state and their physical state. So, okay, we'll go on to their looks. This is like how you can recognize a Taurus by their looks, typically. Okay, so you got to think of like a bovine type of look. And I don't mean this in a mean way, okay? So please do not be offended. But the men can be kind of like huskier or like have really a lot of muscles or like big boned. Okay, they're not like fragile and slight, okay? Even the skinny Taurians or very thin, they kind of have, okay, this is getting annoying. I'm getting interrupted, so I'm gonna turn my phone off. Okay, so they kind of have like almost a bovine quality to them, even if they're thin, okay? They move like gracefully, indolently, and even the skinny ones are strong, you know, and you're just like, what? How can you have like twiggy arms and be strong? They usually have prominent chins. For the men, they might have like thicker necks or be muscular, have muscular shoulders, chest, back, or all of them. They have a pretty well-proportioned body, no matter what their height is. Sometimes they like have like a little, they might have like a little curly hair or like a curl fall down, curly or wavy hair a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times they do. Their ears are usually close set to the head. Their hair, eyes, and skin are usually darker. Even if they're Caucasian, they just seem to have like a darker tint to their hair and skin and eyes. Oh, when they eat, if you're watching them eat, they chew kind of slowly. Oh, and it said, what I wrote down was, like, even if you see like a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Taurian, like they still seem to have more color about them for some reason. Let's see. Yeah, they don't, even if they're thin, they don't like suggest fragility. They're like strong. They're just strong kind of people in their mind and in their body. The women tend to have like limpid, serene, steady eyes. Taurians do have a tendency to put on weight because they love naps. They love naps. Taurians, Leos, and Pisces, nappers, always love them. But because they, you know, tend to have a tendency to kind of lie around or like to nap and like to eat, they usually have kind of robust bodies. Not all the time, but they can get that way. And oh, when you see them move, they move with slowness and deliberation. And they're just not aggressive in their movements, okay? So that's how you can tell them by their looks. And then now we're at the end, and I will tell you about political leaders and dictators, okay? So there were 4 presidents, American presidents, that were born under Taurus. James Buchanan, not Buchanan, okay? It's not pronounced Buchanan. Okay? I don't care if you're in Buchanan County, Virginia. It's Buchanan. So James Buchanan, Ulysses S. Grant, he was drunk, James Monroe, and Grover Cleveland. Those were the 4 U.S. presidents. Now, here's a strange fact for you about the dictators. Even though Taurians are never really cruel people or mean people at all, they're just not. If they're born with a lot of Aries planets in their horoscope, for some reason that mixed with Taurus in one horoscope creates a really cruel person. I don't know why, okay? Don't ask me. I didn't make this stuff up. For example, Hitler, okay? Like, he was an example. So when I looked up all the dictators, Taurians were the most. They had 11 of them, okay? And I didn't look up all the dictators, you know, but I looked up quite a number of them. So let's see. Adolf Hitler of Germany, Saddam Hussein of Iraq, Mao Zedong of China, which I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, Hosni Mubarak of Egypt, Pol Pot of Cambodia, Emperor Hirohito of Japan, who was responsible for the bombing of Pearl Harbor in World War II, Oliver Cromwell of England, Scotland, and Ireland. He signed the death warrant for Charles I, and he was pretty much a dictator, even though, you know, it's kind of, that one's a little bit hard, but he was, you know, Oliver Cromwell was a bastard. He just was. And then there's okay, I'm totally going to pronounce this wrong. Fran Bainimarama of Fiji was a dictator. Georgios Papadopoulos of Greece. So don't confuse him with George Papadopoulos, who was the advisor to Donald Trump. This is Georgios Papadopoulos of Greece. Maximilien Robespierre of France, and the Revolution and Napoleon and all that jazz. And then, of course, Vladimir Lenin of Russia, USSR. So, surprisingly, you guys, you Taurians, had the most dictators, and they have a lot of Aries planet placements in their horoscopes. Very interesting. Okay, well, it's 34 minutes, and so I'm going to hop off here. I hope you enjoyed learning about Taurus, and or learning about yourself if you are a Taurus. And yeah, see you at the next sign. The next sign I'm going to do is Gemini. All right, bye everyone. Hope you enjoyed this. Give me a like and a comment down below. That helps my channel. Hit the subscribe button and the little bell so you get notifications of other videos, because this is mostly a tarot channel. And share this with any Taurians that you know, or anyone who is in love with a Taurus or dealing with a Taurus. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.